Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. This is Spirit Journey. How y'all doing this bright eye and bushy tail morning? It is Saturday, yes. Saturday morning. It is June 4th, 2022, and the time is now 5 a.m. sharp in the morning. You hear those beautiful birds singing? Isn't that nice? Isn't it nice? I love it. It's says that it's 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, these early mornings it's really fantastic to go out and go for a walk. I'm not sure what the later on in the afternoon what temperature it'll be. Let me get the mic a little closer. Yeah, it's charged up. Yay! It's charged up my battery. Yeah, I'm just really getting situated. Um, yeah, I might just stay home today. I did laundry yesterday, a lot, and I want to do a deep cleaning in my bedroom. I want to take, maybe even throw out stuff. My muscles are sore, kind of sore from walking. Yeah, I went out early. Yes, at 5:30 I left yesterday, real early in the morning, and I did my walk, did my basic walk, came back. It was good. Yeah, the bird nest is an empty nest now for about a week. Yeah, I watched the cycle, the nature cycle of life at the Ramble. I saw the beginnings of a bird. It was a robin making its nest, and I remember that it had like two pieces of grass, old grass in its mouth, and it put it on the tree, and then it fell off. So I was at the very beginning stage, and then the bird had to find other stuff, and then maybe 2 days later, the nest was complete. Yes. And then a couple weeks later, I see the little birds. No, I first see her coming back to the nest with food in its mouth. I said, oh, the babies must have hatched. But I didn't see them because I guess they're real small. Well, birds get big fast. And a couple of days later, maybe even a week later, I see the birds. There were three of them, and it's like its mouth is wide open. Yeah. I just saw them for maybe 3 times, 3 separate occasions, and then no more. Yeah. Yeah, the mommy, no mommy bird, daddy bird, they all left. So I'm excited about what life showed me a cycle in the park of birds, and that birds come and they go and they fly away. So it's the same thing with people. We come and we go, and I'm really asking myself these days: am I coming or going? Things are hectic here in New York City where I live. I love New York City. I don't know really any other place that could really top the variety that New York City has. I mean, when I say New York City, I mean Manhattan, the heart of the city. Everything's going on, but it's changing fast. And I don't like what it's changing into. And I feel it's being done by design. Yes. So, so I'm up and about. And yeah, sunrise will be around, let's see, 5 around 5:25 today. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'll be indoors at least for now. That's sunrise. Yeah, and yeah, you can see that it's bright out there. See that? I love it. Yeah, the thing in the middle, that's not the sun. I have my light. I had that light on so you could, because it was really dark before. So I just put on to give it some light. Yeah, I don't want to, be seen right now. Yeah, it's still kind of early. But this way, I get to focus on what I have to say and not be bothered with my looks and everything. So, what's happened? I have my computer on next to me. And I could maybe talk a little bit about what's on the screen this morning. So, yeah, I was dreaming today, and it's an interesting dream and a vision. My morning visions, yes, those of you who've been watching, uh, upon awakening or awakening from a dream, I keep my eyes closed. I keep my eyes closed, and then I um, usually see something. I stay real still and just look as if I'm looking through my closed eyelids, and I saw something. I'll first talk about the dream. I don't remember the details, but I was back at work. I was doing office work, and that was the bulk of my work growing up when I was starting out, when I was a young adult. I worked in office buildings. I did secretarial, administrative assistant work, and I was in a big, one of the big, it looked really big and ultra modern, and you see the sectionals, as I call it, with the staff. Wasn't too busy. There were women, and I think I was younger. I wasn't the age that I am now. Um, this one, let's see. I remember at one point I was looking at my hair in the mirror, and my hair stood up like I had a headpiece on. It looked very ceremonial. It was rectangular in shape. It stood upward. And it's bushy. Yeah, it stood maybe, I think, over a foot in height, and the width also was like maybe 6 inches on both sides of my head. It was massive, and I was looking at it and touching it. So, wow. And then I think it got normal. My hair was in a so-called, no, I'm sorry, normal hairstyle. And I think I was wearing a dress. I was dressed up. I felt younger. And I remember one part of the dream, I was talking to a woman. And I forget the dialogue, but it felt so real. And I was leaving, I think, and I was to go to another place. And I remember um, I had a magazine. At one point I picked up a magazine and these keys. I remember the magazine. It was a softcover magazine, um, and the predominant color on it was yellow, bright yellow, different shades of yellow on it. I remember. I don't know what this magazine was, but I picked it up, and I had these two keys, one small and one bigger, almost like my the keys to my apartment. Like I have one small, one big, but I had these two keys. I remember there was some dialogue, and then I had to leave the building or something. And then I remember I was in a lobby of somewhere else, and I remember, I was looking. Oh, where's the elevators? And I found I pressed it, and it lit up. And I remember I'm on some floor, and I'm talking to. Oh, I remember there was a younger woman. I remember telling her, I'll maybe come back. Once I get settled to my other location, maybe I come back to say hello, something. It was something to that effect, and I think that was important because I was in a situation once where in real life, it was in college when I went away from, uh, went away to college. I was being polite. I was a teenager. I said, hey, maybe I'll come by and visit you, something like that. Um, but the person took it to heart because I did not arrive that day. I saw them. It could have been, on campus, and I was going to a place. I see her, and she got angry at me. I think she's, got very, very visibly upset and kept on going. So I came back later on and said, "Hey, what's up? What happened?" I said, "She's you say you're gonna come by, you did it." Blah, blah, blah. And I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean. I honestly didn't. I didn't mean any harm. I did. I didn't. I make it. I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, but um, I think I was just being polite. Hey, maybe but being polite and saying by your word is two separate things. We have to be careful what we say to people. A word should be our keep. If you say it, you do it. Um, but I remember when I was talking to her and saying what I said, I was just being polite and not saying that this is something I'm going to do right then or if I give a specific time, say, hey, I'll come by at such and such time or something. That's something else. But either way, she was offended, and I felt badly that I made someone feel that way. And I'm meeting someone now, and remind me of the same spirit. I know she doesn't mean any harm, but I know she's not going to do what she says over a period. And I know how I feel about that. She's a free bird, and I enjoy seeing her freeness because I remember I used to be that age, which she was now. She's probably like in her 20s. And I'm excited looking at her because she's like free as a bird, and she jogs with her dog. She gives her dog time off too. One day on, one day off, because the dog gets tired too. And it might be heavy on the feet. So that's what she had told me before. So yeah, I bumped into her yesterday, even, and she blows me a kiss and says, "Oh, I'll call you when I get home." And she didn't call yet. Yeah, she was supposed to get in contact with me a week ago. Yeah, she has family coming in from Brazil, and the fact the day that she was supposed to arrive, I see her in the park running, and it looked like something was wrong. And she didn't see me. She walked. She ran right past me, like she was in the zone. But her eyes, something upset her. It's the first time I ever saw her like that. And I was wondering, boy, is this the same person? I don't know what happened. And so coincidentally, I see her yesterday. I left my place super early, and I haven't seen her at that time before. It was just after 6 o'clock in the morning, and so I was surprised. And she says she'll give me a call. So I think it was essential, that in the dream, and I was conscious of what I was saying. And I said in the dream, well, maybe, maybe when things, I settle these things, when I get settled, hey, maybe I'll come by and visit, something like that. But I was conscious what I was saying. So we have consciousness, people, even when we dream. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning, good morning. So I was conscious of it, and conscious enough that even in a dream state, I don't want to mislead people. See, it's very important these days. See, people like to deceive other people. People may not realize the words that they say, whether it's to uh, sound polite or um, just making conversation, what you say you should do, or don't, or just be silent. So I remember coming back. I don't remember the details, but I remember I had to race back. That's a common theme that I'm always hurrying to a place or from a place, and it's some anxiety. There was some anxiety, but I felt um, part okay. Like I was adjusting, and I have these two keys and this magazine in my hand, and I remember talking to another woman. She seemed like an older lady. I felt younger. I felt like a younger person, and so this other person, I think was my senior. She could have been in her 40s, 50s. Slim, very conservative, and I remember. Oh, I had to go. I had to leave. I said, yeah. I think at one point I forgot where I had to go. Yeah, so I initially left the new office that I was to be working in, but for whatever reason, I had to go back to the old office, and I brought the magazine and the keys, and then the people in between, and then I finally was to hand over my keys. There was a white woman and a black woman. White woman had a dialogue with first, and then the black woman processed my key, my long, returning my keys. Yeah, I wanted like a smooth transition. I didn't want anything uh, lingering from the past into my new work situation. I wanted a clean break, but I had these keys and I wanted to return it. And they liked that I was returning the keys back. That I remember. They were happy. Oh, good that you returned these keys. And I remember handing the keys to the woman, the black woman. She was, like maybe the 40s also, kind of heavy set. And it was a log book, and she had a pen and she was logging in some. Yeah, it was a lot of data she had to fill in, and she was quick. And I remember watching her. She was on my left side, and she just boom, boom, writing it in the data. And then I think I had to race back, and I'm thinking, and I started thinking in the dream, and I still had the magazine in my head. I don't know what this magazine was. Yellow, a lot of yellow on the front cover, shiny, a glossy finish, and yeah, it was a completion. And I said, well, when I get back to the office, because I looked on the wall and it was a clock. The old fashioned, the uh, analog, the clock with the short and long hand, the second hand. And I looked, it was like, I think 5 after 3. I said, oh, I'm a little late. Um, Late is late, even if you're 1 minute, that is late. And it's 5 minutes past 3. So I felt like, oh, I was supposed to be there back at 3 o'clock. But I noticed it's 5 after 3. And I said, I was thinking to myself, if they asked you what took you, you just say, I had to return the keys. Had to log in get the keys logged in, return them. And I think that's when I woke up around. Yeah, I woke up. I don't remember any other thing. Um, but as for the vision now, um, I kept my eyes closed and then I started seeing things. Um, I saw it looked like a screen, like I think it was a TV screen. Again, the immediate environment was blur. I couldn't really see that much detail. It was out of focus. But I see like it seems like a screen in front of me, like a TV screen, because it was so low to the ground. So I said, okay, thinking, okay, this must be a TV screen, and I see things on the screen. They were looked like symbols. They were like it was white, and they were the lines in it was seemed thick. They were rectangular in shape. The symbols, each symbol ran vertically and horizontally, like rows and columns, and they were like 2 by 4 inches each character that ran horizontal, and they were aligned vertically. And each block, symbol, each one was different, but the same, the lines on it was the same width. Like it almost looked like something woven, like a basket. How things are interconnected. That's what it reminded me of. It was a very tight fit of these symbols, each one different, and it kind of reminded me also like the Asian language, like Chinese or Japanese. You know, it just kind of reminded me of something like that, and those really tightly fit together, and then it disappeared. They disappeared, and then I see like the faint screen with nothing on it, and then I saw on it water, like a body of water on it. Yeah, still waters, and I think with some land around it. It could have been. It was still and calm, and I was trying to see if I could see anything else around it, because I think there's sort of a TV, like a monitor screen, and that there was. I remember seeing that there was some movement. And oh God, what was that now? I know there was some movement around. I think everything might have, the screen kind of disappeared. Oh, I started seeing those. Yes, and there's the screen now. I see these like the those little feathery. See, it's hard to describe. But like I always what I've seen these in the past. It's almost like it looks like a plant leaves or something. The narrow, long leaves, and these were darker, like a darker color. Sometimes they could look almost white in color, but this one was dark. And I believe when that happens, like it doesn't want me to see. They're like blocking the way, you know, blocking, so I can't really see very clear. They seem to be alive because it's moving. Oh, what else? That's all I can remember. But I make mention of this because I truly feel, I truly feel that when we sleep, people, yeah, we're entering into other states of consciousness. And our minds, we could be thinking. Like right now I'm sitting here and I could get thoughts. I could be talking about something, but maybe my thought I'm thinking about something else, but I'm talking about something else. We can think our it's like there's your conscious, and then your like the thing running in the background in your mind that's going on at the same time. That doesn't shut off. That aspect of us doesn't shut off. It could analyze, think, yet you're doing and saying something else. And I truly believe, we are hooked up into multi-dimensionals. We are. This is a multi-dimensional existence. Yeah, growing up, that I just thought, people say, oh, it's just a dream. Oh, it's just a dream. Now, I think some dreams, like the one I had, was what I call a symbolic dream. Just something for my mind to process, something that I'm processing the old data of, because that was a big part of my life when I worked in an office building, or when I was in the military. I used to have dreams being in the military, and I was always running to change my outfit into my into my military clothes because I had to muster. This was common. It was always racing, 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 full of anxiety. But here, this one, I still had some tweaking to do, to make some minor corrections. Um, but I think it was good that I returned the key. Oh, wow. I'm thinking of about the keys. What is the keys? Well, keys is access. But now I was out of that one access because now I didn't need those keys because now I'm in another location. Those old keys doesn't apply anymore. It's very symbolic now I'm thinking of it. Keys is about access. But I wanted to finish what I had to do. I didn't want to leave anything, and it was important enough to maybe be a few minutes late, 5 minutes late into my new environment. And I think this is telling me something. Like I live here. I've been here for 19 years, and I have a big key and a small key, just like in the dream. And I think it's essential that when I decide to leave this apartment, I want to leave clearly. I don't want anything. Yeah, there's a lot of different things I have to. Uh, they owe me money. They owe me considerable amount of money that they're not paying me back. And even though I had gotten a lawyer through the VA, they had like a thing of advertising. One of the offices I had to go to at the VA hospital, they, about benefits and stuff. They say, hey, I noticed something on the wall. I say, hey, I just noticed that there's lawyers that work for here. And they said, yeah, if you have apartment issues or other, we have them for, that they volunteer. So wow. So I took the name and number, and then they later got back to me, and they dropped the ball. They were incompetent. Yeah. Um, I may have to just see. I'm concerned that they're going to try to have me give them another $2,400. And I did go to the necessary agency. See, it's starting to get to me right now. I have to cut it. Yeah. See, I don't want to work myself up too much because it is only money. Money's not real. Money is monopoly. Money's monopoly. And how people are willing to fight over a piece of paper because the game feels so real. You bet it feels real. But it is only monopoly to play this game here in this 3D world. And I think this is important, people. It's important for all of us because, see, this pandemic that we had uh, for the past 2 years, it's now a little over 2 years because the shutdown happened last year in March. And for me, it was March March 16 when they closed down all the gyms. Because remember, I had joined a gym. Yeah, I thought I was going to be looking good. Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I joined the gym, and I thought I wanted to go into bodybuilding um, to actually put, in my age group. I was so inspired by this individual, this male bodybuilder. I don't remember his name. He's still alive. He's doing well for him. See, that bodybuilder had common sense. The black fellow, um, could be in his yeah, he could be just he could be in his early 60s. Yeah, he's not too much older than me, and he is conscious about his what he eats and everything. I think even investment. He's not a dumb man. He's one of the lucky ones that use common sense early in the game of weightlifting. Because you see, there were a lot of deaths. Last year, there were a lot of deaths of people, young people in their 40s, even a woman bodybuilder. The people, they were taking steroids. They were taking these things, and what price you have to pay for fame and all that. And now this is very important, I think. Now, my growing up, I mean, I remember I joined a gym. I was like 18 years old. I was real scrawny. And I remember joining a gym. I lasted 2 weeks. It's the, oh, yeah, it's the average time. It's like 2 weeks. And I think it was early in the year, right? Um, but yeah, back then in the early 80s, 1980, 1979, there were these movies. I think this movie, Pumping Iron, and there was a Pumping Iron, the woman too, um, and it was a whole craze, health craze. But all these people, they wanted you to think that this was health, going to a gym. And you know what else? When I leave early in the morning to do my walks with my dog, you see all these joggers. Yeah, joggers also. This craze for jogging. Now, I look at it as an adult now. I mean, after 42 years, seeing all these different trends in weightlifting and jogging, people aren't getting healthier. People are getting sicker and dying younger. They're dying in their prime because of the illusion of this health. People are telling you, hey, do the jogging, it's health. It's not health. You are using up your stores. Your body has stores in them. Nutritional stores. It's taking up the vitamins, the minerals, the things that build up that are used to build your body, and you're using it to just go nowhere. You're just jogging aimlessly there and back. You're using up all your stores, people. I remember seeing this young woman. It was East Asian looking woman. Uh, Looked like in her 20s, real young looking. And she's like standing, what do you call it? Like jogging in place, like doing this mega jog, in place. Because the whole theme is, oh, you got to get your heart pumping. You got to get the heart pumping. Honey, where the hell are you going? I looked at it, I said, this is a lie. This is a lie. They want you to believe that this is health. I bet by the time that girl is in her 30s, she's going to the doctors for some type of knee operation. And once it go into that socket, baby, it's over. It's over. Your body, is resilient, but I don't think the body is meant to do this every day, every day, for as long as they do it. I remember when I was in my 30s, I started gaining weight. Yeah, I started to gain some weight on my, yeah, because I was usually very, like my body mass index was 18 for a very, very long time. And it changed when I entered the military, and then it changed when I came back from the West Indies. Yeah, I had uh, gained some weight. If you're always skinny and then you gain weight, you feel it on your body, and I was feeling it on my body, and I'm starting to eat again. I think it's anxiety eating, what we call stress eating. It is because I'm watching a lot of these things on YouTube. Yes, I watch YouTube, and I see what's being presented to me is changing too. And I have to be careful why they're just showing me this. You know, um, in the past, you just watch a video, it doesn't make like almost everything that same thing. That's what I notice now. And so why I have to be careful is that, see, when something is making it convenient so soon, and just show you a predominance of this one thing, they want you to think in those terms. They want you to think um, a certain mindset. And this is the first time I ever see my screen, the selection looking like this. A lot of it with things on blacks and Africans. They want you to see, be focused on a particular narrative, and I have to be careful. See, knowledge is important, especially to know what's going on in the black world. But it's also important why they want you to see certain things. Is it to just make you think a narrative and make you feel like a victim? This is very important because you don't want to feel like a victim. It is good to know what's going on around you, but what are they trying to, how do they want to for you to you know, shape your thinking? Yeah, because it could set you up, and I have to be aware of that. You know, um, so I know I'm talking about all different things, but I think they're all related. The dream that I had, and the I think it's about transitioning from one to another, but make sure you complete it. And I think the magazine in yellow meant that there was something better. Yellow to me represents hope, happiness, things like that. And for whatever reason, I was carrying this. So that was important, to carry hope and happiness and bliss. Or maybe it's telling me, hey, that's what's ahead of you. Happiness and, the yellow, you know, positivity. Um, and the black woman, she was the processor. Yeah, it felt very real. And the dream and the vision that I was to have, about the, oh, there was something else in it. Yeah, after I saw the characters, yeah, the characters were all in white, bold white symbols, very thick. Each line of the symbol was thick and shiny, very white. And then I did say that I saw like a lake, something like a body of water, is some things around it, and then these little feathery things started blocking the way. Yeah, that happens a lot in my dreams, because I believe they could influence what you see. It's almost like they can lull you asleep. They don't want me to see what I'm seeing. I'm not supposed to be seeing what I'm seeing. Also, remember, I want to get this out. That TV monitor that I saw, the symbols, the white symbols that were in rows and columns, all touching together, tightly fit together. Um, I saw briefly. It was a like, I call it like a doll, like a lot of these movie animations. they you know, it's like a, I don't really call it, yeah, it's animated. They can make it look like, kind of look real, but it's still like in a cartoonish type shape. Like there was this head cold medicine, and commercial, and the little boy is like blowing his nose. That if you know that one, I think it was a Nyquil commercial or something. So it looked like that, and I see it's like a little boy, little tiny little round nose, and the face kind of like the had a wide cheeks, like a short head, but it's like a wide face, and the cheeks kind of went out, slightly pointed. It was cute, and I see it moving. It's like, wow. I think this is all. Let me tell you. See, I really think that we are living multiple awarenesses. So I presume I might have been a kid or something. I don't know. It looked like a Caucasian, what's supposed to be a Caucasian kid, in my opinion. Yeah, this, um, I think it was soft sculpture. It kind of had like a nap to the texture of the skin. It was a light color, but I think it's supposed to be like a Caucasian type kid, little child. Um, but the lettering seemed like it could have been something more. I mean, I don't know Asian languages, but there were symbols, and I'm just taking it maybe. Uh, I believe there were Asian thing, but boy, it was the screen was completely filled. Yeah, and I share this also by chance if anybody Asian, East Asian of some type might have seen a commercial, block lettering, filling the whole screen, and then the thing with the little doll, animated doll or something. Yeah, yeah, because I believe this thing exists, and there's a like a TV monitor. I believe what I was looking at was an actual television in somebody's room. Um, and it seemed like it might have been dark in the room as well. Um, that's pretty much what I saw. Interesting. Yeah, I believe. Yeah. So, and oftentimes when I'm having these visions upon awakening from a dream or sleep, that I feel like sometimes, like that hairy thing I'm talking about, that kind of feathery, it'll go towards my eyes, and like I guess where I am, where it sees me. Something sees me, or what seems like the me. It's going towards it's going over my face or my eyes, and then it's darkening it out. It's when that happens, I'm not going to see the screen anymore. I'm not going to see what I'm seeing. So I feel it's deliberately doing that to me, because I'm not supposed. It's like I'm awakening over there. So it's like having two consciousnesses. I'm completely conscious of what's happening right here in my room. I can hear everything, feel everything, and then the other location. And it doesn't want me to know about the other location. And they're blocking you, so you can't see it. And I'm fighting to try to keep my eyes, my spiritual eyes over there open. Yeah, we're in a multiple dimensions, people. We're living multiple lives. And the only difference is, there's really nothing different, like, because you're doing things, and you're thinking. You're not just doing, you're actually, your mind is like that foundational you that can make critical decisions of your thoughts. it's beyond just your acting out. Like I was at the office and I had to return keys. I'm actually analyzing certain things, but I'm yet doing just like here. I can be doing to something, and I can also have thoughts behind what I'm doing. We live in a multi-dimensional life. But like, where is the central part of us? And I believe, and I've made mentions of this many times. I've woken up, and this was earlier this week even. That room, I was in a room, and it had two bright lights, uh, like something like that, about that size, that that light there. Two on each side. I mean, one on each side of this long cylinder uh, instrument of some type. It's some scientific instrument. It's a long cylinder, and the lights were like midway on this that shaft, and it's shining in my what seems to be like my face down. But I don't see myself. I'm. It's as if I'm the participant in this vision. I'm the one that this thing is aiming at. And it had a pointy knot, like a metal rod, a skinny thing at the base of this shaft. And it was long. And I understood it as that some type of electrical current goes down the shaft and then enters that metal thing, that it aims at an individual. This thing is for people. And I believe I am in this apparatus. Yeah, it was very faint, but like when I saw it, it's as like I was looking upward. It seemed like the direction of what I'm looking at, as if I am looking upward on this instrument, this giant shaft. It could be maybe 12 feet long or something like that. It's big, and it's the diameter, as big as my torso, and that this metal tip at the end. I've seen this before, and the other time I saw it, it was very clear, and it had these two metal handles um, on each side of the shaft, and there was a man standing, wearing a white lab coat, a white man. I felt he was a European, very European, something very European about him, rather than a white American. I mean, people could have, foreigners, have a different signature. You compare an American and then you get someone visiting. You could tell out the foreigner right away. In my opinion, he was wearing a lab coat. He had straight hair. It was cut. It was more tapered on the sides and but higher on top. Had like a squarish face. Um, could have been in his 50s, 60s. Yeah, looked like he was in good health. Looked like, and he was laughing, and he was holding the shaft. He was holding the handles, one at each side, aiming it downward at me, and laughing. Yeah, I saw him clear as day. It just lasted a couple of seconds, that particular vision. Yeah, I believe that's reality. I believe that that's where we are. There's a program called Farsight. Yeah, they have a website and they have a YouTube channel, and they do remote viewing. And they would say, they talked about one of the experiments they did was what happens when we die. And they said that the human spirit goes to a grid that's located outside, off planet. But there's a grid surrounding the planet. And they could disguise it, they could send people, in the spirit realm that look like relatives or even pets, and have you follow them, and then you get zapped. And then you get thrown back in the recycling. And I believe that. But and I think they said that the machine is in the planet Mars, and then it broadcasts to the moon, and then the moon back to to the Earth. I believe that is to be true. But where is the we? And I think that's where my visions comes through with the shaft. I believe we are housed somewhere, like the Matrix movie, and that they have us. They have control over us. And I think that we are having multiple existence. I think it's a real sophisticated machine. Because when you do your meditation, people, when I do my meditations upon awakening from a sleep or dreaming, and I'm in that in-between zone, people, see, it's like when you're in the full-fledged life thing, you don't see anything else. But when you're moving from one state to another, there is a buffer zone. There is a buffer zone. And I am in that buffer zone, and I'm able to consciously see what's going on. I might, or you might call it a bleed through. A bleed through. And I can see what's going on in another location that I am in. Or I wake up and I'm in that machine room. I mean, that machine with the shaft, the giant shaft. And I saw the doctor, the scientist, I should say. He looked like a scientist. And I wasn't supposed to wake up. Well, another time, I was like, it seemed as though I was in some type of facility. It was dark in the room, and my awareness appeared that I'm in this space, and I believe I was in something, but because there were these beings. One looked like an ant, a giant ant, and this feathery looking multi-armed thing was there. And it was because I was able to see, and it was doing something towards my eyes. And you can actually see the shadow going past my eyes. And my eyes are closed, but I'm seeing this. And you can see the shadow being cast. Because my eyes are actually closed in reality. It has the power. I don't think it's trying to scoop out my eyes, but I believe that it has the power that it could like lull me to sleep. You remember like back in the day they used to have all these things about being hypnotized. Remember, and you kind of use your hand and you kind of lull them back to sleep. That I believe is what they're doing. because that's what happens. I can't, when they do that, then I can't see anymore. The vision changes. I don't, then there's a, nothing in the screen anymore. But this is happening. Yeah, and it's as if with those insects, whatever, because something was right above my head, and they were, I was kind of elevated upward. I believe I was in a vessel of some type. I don't know. I feel like as if I'm enclosed in something enclosed, but I was starting to wake up in the. I think it's almost like a pod, a glass thing. And you notice some of the super soldier things. People who study, talk about the super soldiers. When you look at their artwork, I mean, yeah, true that people could just copy everybody else's artwork, but these pods and the thing, the being inside is standing up and it's suspending in this pod. And I'm wondering, am I in one of these things? I'm wondering, are these clones? Like a lot of people talk about clones. I know it sounds far fetched, the story of clones, but you notice it's now a part of popular culture to talk about clones, and a lot of people, celebrities. I mean, even black people are talking about this. Their favorite celebrities are clones. They talk about it. Sounds ridiculous, but what if this is actually happening? What if someone could capture part of your essence and somehow acquire it and have control over it? And that part of that consciousness is being housed somewhere else. And I think that's what happened to me in the military. I keep talking about this. I'm a healthy person. Never had any you know any problem with reality. But one day I woke up and I felt like I wasn't like I felt disoriented and I didn't know where I was. And I remember I went to one of the girls in the lounge in the military. I was in the Navy. I said, I don't know, am I awake or am I asleep? I said, I just woke up, but I don't feel like I'm really awake. And I think I started crying. Am I awake? Is this real? She says, you're awake. Yeah, this is real. Yeah, I was awake. I felt disoriented. Never felt this way. And then another occasion, I was having these nightmares, and this person, personified as the devil, was it was wearing all black, like a suit, like a black suit, white shirt, had a black coat, goatee, black hair. Yeah, very white skin and very black hair, very black suit, and it had its left arm up in a fist, and I thought it was going to punch me. It looked real, and I'm dreaming this. And I said, and back then I used to be a Christian, and I said, I rebuke you, or something like that, the blood of Jesus, something like that. And it got scared, and it slowly put down. You saw the fear in its face, and it slowly put its arm down. Then I think I woke up. Yeah, it happened for a week. The fear was a week, and I think only had that dream once. Yeah, I only had that dream once. But my dream life that week was really spooky. I was having anxiety attacks to read my Bible. Yeah, I was under a spiritual attack, people. I went and talked to a Christian friend of mine, an older person, and she just briefly spoke to, said something very brief. She says, if you weren't confused before and you're confused now, God is not a God of confusion. And that was enough for me, and that's all I needed, and everything cleared up. Never again. But I think that things or science is being used over people. Science is being used over people in the military at random. Again, we're on a ship. I don't know whether we were actually deployed at that time. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't even remember. It's all a blur whether we're overseas. But again, the ship is always in water. But whether it was, in a deployment at that time, crossing the Mediterranean or the Atlantic, I do not remember. It seemed pretty still, you know. Um, but that's what was happening, and I'm wondering whether something was done. Something was done to us. It's like someone is trying to get access to your soul and trying to control you. Yeah, be careful, people. Your soul, your body, your mind is yours. You make sure you keep it and don't do agreements with other people. Yeah, I didn't do any agreements. See, I think it couldn't hold me completely because I didn't make any agreements. But you know what did happen? A thought went through my mind. And the thought was, um, if this Bible or Christianity isn't real, I could do my own thing. And I was toying with the idea that I don't want this religion. And then that's when I felt something leave, like essence left my body. I kid you not. This is very important. I felt like something left me and left me feeling empty. I realize, people, that even your thoughts are powerful, especially when you're programmed. Religion is a program, and religion is man made. But agreements are made upon people, especially with religion or organizations, clubs and things like that, sororities, fraternities, they're all the same. It's all man made, and the agreements. I only thought about it. I didn't say anything to anybody. It was just a thought that went in my mind that, hey, I don't have to follow this. And then immediately, boom. And I think that provided the energy. It's like leaving your door open, in essence. And I think that thought was enough to shift. And I think that's when the attack came on. Satanic attack at that, in my opinion. Yeah, it's real. And again, I don't do drugs. I did never, nothing. You know how many thoughts people have in a day? But this was weird. And this was during a time, um, yeah, I had gotten baptized maybe 5 years prior, something like that. But I wasn't going to church. I mean, I had visited a church before with a relative of mine, just a handful of times. And I used to listen to, I had gotten so-called, say, baptized in the church. They done, water submersion, and you say, you accept, accept Christ, whatever. And then nothing. I mean, I listened to Bible radio, but that was it. That was it. But when I went in the military, um, they did have a Bible study group that I attended twice, and someone invited me to the church twice. But that's not really, that's not much. But something happened, and something, I think, it's about contracts. See, I was a young soul, and energetically something wanted to claim me, and I said no. I made a mental. I said, yeah, I'm keeping. I'm coming back, and I never had that type of attack again. Yeah, your thoughts. It's almost as if your thoughts are being read. Your actions are being read. But interesting enough, that I am no longer a Christian. I denounced it a couple of years back. I don't remember. I denounced it several times because I couldn't I couldn't remember when I had made the first proclamation of me rejecting this religion. But I did it again, and it's just to ground me that I made a choice. But I didn't have the attacks again like that. Interesting, interesting enough that didn't happen. That demonic attack. I am older, so I think they like the young blood because you're a young woman. I was in my 20s, and these circles, I think these demonic circles like that young blood, you know. But I'm an older woman, and I have more sense. I'm not as so-called valuable. I'm not worth as. I'm not trying to put myself down. You got something, some young 20-something-year-old. You could do a lot with a 20-something-year-old versus someone. I'll be 60 the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're at a point that whatever was going to be, and some things you cannot fight. You're a certain age. That's it. Your youthfulness to be used for certain things, it's closed. You know. But it is empowering that because see, I could see through it now. I could start to see through the illusion. Yeah, there are spiritual dimensions. When I say spiritual dimension, I just mean anything outside this 3D existence. And I'm seeing it. Life, um, nature also talks to you. Nature. I go to Central Park and other parks, and it speaks to you. Nature, like what I mentioned earlier in this live stream, that I saw the cycle of a bird. I saw a sparrow, and I was at right there at that right spot of it building a nest. From the very beginning, it had two little pieces of grass in its mouth, and it placed it on the tree, but then it fell off. And then it had to gather it up again. And then 2 days later, I came back, and the nest was completely fixed, completely built. And then a week or two later, I saw the little babies. And then maybe a week after seeing the babies, no more babies, no more mommies. It's a complete, it's unoccupied nest. They all grew up, and now they're out on their own. Isn't that something? Nature is quick. The nature, when you see in nature, everything happens quickly. For people, for human, it takes years, but birds, insects, it's quick. The full cycle. It's amazing. And when you're in nature, you do feel better. That nature isn't all that calm either. They have territories. Birds fight. They have territories. Squirrels could fight. But when they do it, it's quick. Whatever disagreement they have is quick. But people are a different story. Human beings are a different story. They fight for years. They fight for years. And what they're fighting over is the terror. They don't need it. See, humans are corrupt. I believe that human beings are being. There's a thing in nature called a cowbird. Cowbird. A cowbird is a bird, and it is designed to occupy another bird's nest of a different species. They steal nests from other birds so they don't have to build their own. Well, on this planet, we have cowbird type of people, and they occupy your space, your domain. They want you to do all the work, and then they take over. You notice that like what they call colonies. You notice these places, primarily like in Europe, they don't need your land, but they're taking it. Britain occupied so much land all over the planet. The actual headquarters, Britain, is a small place in comparison. Yet it wields so much control over nations. And now they're having, Queen Elizabeth's 70th reign on the throne. 70 years. Sure, but this is very significant. 70. Yeah, they're setting up something. I don't, she's 96 years old now. And I don't think she, her own mother lives to, I think, 101. But I don't think she's going to live that. I don't know. I don't know. 70 is a significant number, but also 77 is an even more important number. Let's see, if she reaches 77 years on the reign, let's see, let's see, she's 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101. She'll be 103 years old if she reaches the 77th year. And she'll probably be the last monarchy of this magnitude, people. This is going to be a very significant event when that woman dies. Yeah. She, in her reign, um, wow, I'm amazed. She was always around since I was born. In her position, she was around during very key parts of life. The radio age, time of radio, time of television, because they started utilizing television for their propaganda. Computer and technology. I mean, boom, she's there. And that continuity, I think, is what really kept Britain so strong. When you have a monarchy that lasts that long, that's important. So when you have a shift in leadership, you're at a vulnerable spot and you have to transition quickly. That's also why U.S. now is wobbling. We have, let's say, votes every 4 years, but you notice now it seems to be getting more and more difficult. Remember the thing with Bush and what they call the butterfly ballots? That's like 20 years ago. 20 years ago. And then we had the election in 2016. And that one, I think, was a significant one that altered a lot of things that led us to where we are now. Chaos. a lot of chaos. And now they're still trying to throw the government. They're trying to throw it out. It's a hijacking. It is the country's being hijacked. I love my country. I love America, but it's in trouble. It is in trouble. Um, yeah, you have a lot of variables now. What I also noticed now, like I mentioned earlier in the live stream, that the things that's being recommended to me on YouTube is now like it changed his whole face, it seems. What it's showing me. It wants me to see about black and white events, black and white, the stress, the cultural transitioning between white and black people. And now they're also introducing Africa also. Africa's in the mess. You have, was it Mali uh, told France it's not needed anymore. They want to make their own decisions. Yeah, a lot of these countries in Africa, they're not, I guess they're actually being controlled by outside forces. European nations. See, it's a new type of slavery. It's a new type of slavery. And I'm rooting for Mali. What was that? They don't, like, this one YouTuber is talking about, they posed the question, are African nations could be getting punished by the U.S. for its possible allegiance to Russia? They have a point, like this whole Ukraine, Russia, and I mean, throughout the planet, there are nations that are being invaded. This is nothing new, but they want you to focus on this. Why? I don't know. And I think it's partly tied in with the current administration in the U.S. Because remember, that guy Hunter, his laptop was, he didn't come back for his laptop, and had all this sensitive data on that country, that same country that's being invaded. This is a war. They're so, see, they're so sloppy now. The people in power, they're sloppy. He's not even thinking right this. So what was his son thinking? He could have just got the laptop and taken with it, because the guy, he's only doing his job. He saw sensitive information. That was it. But he didn't tell anyone. In fact, he just called Hunter and said, hey, your thing is ready. He could have just come and pick it up, but he didn't. Yeah, see, they're getting sloppy and sloppier. And I think the thing with Russia is really, in my opinion, a cover story. I think they're all friends with each other. They all play their part in the game of Monopoly. They're all playing their part. There's no victims here. Unfortunately, people have died. I'm sure people have died in Ukraine. And condolences to anybody who's killed. I don't want anybody killed. But it seems like the narrative is to show, they're saying that something was, what was that? Was it these, what was it? something was being held there, and they felt that they were going to use it. The country was going to use it against Russia. Isn't that what the U.S. did with Iraq? They say, hey, they got weapons of mass, you know what? And what happened? They invaded. So you're going to say uh, you can do it, but not anybody else? It's not by accident, people, all this stuff. It's not by accident. And so now, for the first time in the media, I'm seeing that Africa is now being in the forefront. And it started when uh, that country got invaded, and you had the African students, and they weren't allowed on the train because they didn't have the right passport, and they were using the race card. That's when it really started coming out, it seemed, at least to my awareness. And then you had Mali saying no to France and to get out your soldiers. And there was something with I think it was, Senegal. Senegal meeting up with the Russian president. And it was a photo op. I don't know what they're going to talk about. Wow. Yeah, I better check that out with Senegal. This is really something, people. I had, I better check it out. Because it's interesting that this other YouTuber is asking the same question. Could Africa be in danger now if it shows any sign of allegiance to Russia? Hello? Could they destabilize? Could the U.S. destabilize countries in Africa? There's a shortage of food all of a sudden. I mean, they say Africa has a shortage of food, yes, but real shortage because of the alleged war. That's the reason they give it, because there's war in Ukraine. What Ukraine has to do with Africa? I thought it wasn't the pandemic more serious for the shortage. I never heard any shortage of food in Africa during the past 2 years. But now they're holding up food into certain African countries. And guess what else? Um, Congo. You had, was about a week ago, people fleeing eastern Congo, the east side of Congo, into Rwanda. Hundreds and thousands of them. This is going to destabilize Rwanda. I didn't hear any news that Rwanda getting involved with Russia. But what I'm saying, though, is that you have individuals who are clever, and they know how to introduce certain stresses on a region, and they know by pressing that button will cause an exodus, will cause fear, and people leaving into another country to destabilize. They could do the same thing in Mali. Oh, okay, you want to do business with that country? Okay, let's press this button and make this happen. Oh, Senegal had a meeting with that country. Start looking, hope, anyone who's out there listening, just check for yourself. Hey, go key in Mali or Senegal. I think the countries are right next to each other. They're going to try to, they might try to do something. Take a look. I did asked the universe. I did pray. I said, because I'm looking into different places to possibly live in. And I said, if it's not meant to be, or a particular location isn't meant to be, please let me know. Because, see, something, that things could be feasible, but maybe it won't be the best thing to do. And lo and behold, I may mention that, lo and behold, that one by one, all these things are saying no, no, no. Because I wrote like a list of places. And I'm getting like, they have the monkeypox, uh, other dangers, refugees. Wow, I said, universe. I guess you're telling me through these events, don't go there. Don't go there. Wow, wow. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Yeah, you have to be very careful. Yeah, they want you excited. They really need to chill out. When you go look in nature, people, it it looks so beautiful. It is absolutely exquisite to see nature in all its splendor. Back in the day, we didn't have electricity. Electricity, what's it? I think electricity, the use of electricity, maybe 100 years. What did we use before, people? We didn't always have electricity to use for appliances, and now they're making these electric cars. Why? They want to create an artificial planet. This is all designed to make you put a wedge between you and nature. Nature is the rawness of life. Nature and the people who are living in nature, you know what they call them? Primitives. Like it's a bad thing. Like it's a bad thing to love your creator. When you live in harmony with nature, you're showing you love the creator. True, these places on the planet, these equatorial areas, they don't live very long lives. That's true. But like I gave the story about the bird, the robin. Yeah, the mommy bird, it built its nest. In 2 months, the whole cycle, what I witnessed, was gone. In 2 months. 2 months. And anything can happen in between. Life has its cycles. The body's not meant to do all this weird stuff. Jogging 20 miles a day. Doing these sprints. Oh, gotta get the heart going. No. No, no, no. You do just a normal activity. I would say to stretch out, definitely. Oh, yeah. And that's what I have to do a lot more of. Stretching. Because when your muscles tighten up, that's when, you're more prone to tear muscle and recovery time. As when you get older, recovery takes longer. Yeah, be gentle with your body. Use it. Don't waste it. Yeah, let's look at the. Yeah, this is everything's connected here. They want to make us into plastic individuals plastic. They even making plastic food, plastic rice, and giving it to Africans to eat. Shame on you, Asia. Shame on you. Yeah, people. See, they want to make the African feel inadequate. Yeah, I made something mention about that yesterday in my video. Yeah, I bought a device that just came in when I did that video yesterday. A translator, a portable translator. Yeah, it feels really nice in the hand, but I think I have to return it, and I want to get a new model. Yeah, it doesn't have like I wanted Swahili in it. Well, there's one Swahili, but it doesn't have the audio. Like you're talking it, and then in English, and then it'll translate what I'm saying in Swahili. Or let's say it's German. I speak in English and it does it in German, etc. Now it just has the print. Now I don't want to give any. You have your device, and you speak in English, and then you show them the device so that they have to read the small print. What if you're outside? Those screens you could hunt like my cell phone. When I'm doing a video, I can't see the screen because the light. I can't see it. It's all washed out. So you're going to have this thing and hoping that they could read. You're communicating audibly with, verbally. So you want a verbal response, right? In the natural, you're speaking at a normal pace, and you want the person to hear what you're saying in their language at a normal pace. You don't want them to have to read your question. Yeah, it costs a lot of money. I'm going to return it. They said it's a free. They have free returns, so I'm going to return it. I'm going to return the whole thing. Yep. And I saw something that does have it, and it claimed to be that it does the audio. Yeah, I thought I was careful when I got it, you know, and I really like the style of it, but I want that option. Yeah. See, they don't want Africans to do networking. See, all these devices, when you look at them, the devices are really for the people who are controlling the planet. So it's not surprising that the nations that they have the audio, the photo, and what else? Audio, photo, and what's that? Yeah, that's about it. For it to translate, transcribe, and to take a photo of a message and translate it. It does all Europe, all Western Europe. It does nations in Europe that don't have that many people, and it does everything for them. But Swahili and over 200 million people speak that language, and they don't have the audio for it. It's ridiculous. And I was saying in short yesterday with regard to this portable translator that, someone who's young and savvy to build a translator designed for the African in mind, the African continent, so that the people of Africa could come together and communicate. Yes, they are, they speak multiple languages. They do. And it's really the European languages of Africa and Arabic that is primarily used to communicate. But people have a right for their own language, their own identity. That's sovereignty. And I'm hoping that someone could build a device, a translator, a portable translator, like the one I bought, with the African continent in mind, or Afro Africa, Asia, Africa, Pacific Island, to keep that culture, to keep their native tongue, to be able to communicate. Did you have this? See, if you don't value your own language, you're not really valuing your culture, and you're looking up to these Europeans primarily, or Arabs, the Arab language. Should embrace your own language. You should. If you ever get opportunity to learn your native tongue, whatever what it was, do so. That is very empowering. It's a time of empowering, and I think Africa, the continent of Africa, with it's 54 countries in Africa, many languages that you're not taking seriously because you look up to the European, and you allow them to stay in your country. And you do business with them in mind, the European. You give them good service, but you're not servicing your own because you don't value yourself. You sell your children for bread. Some of you, the ones who live in the countryside, they sell their children for food. Stop that behavior. You want to look like them, act like them, and it's making me sick. Be you. It's okay to be you, to be an African, or to be an Arab, to be a Pacific Islander, to be a Native American Indian, to be whatever. It's okay to be you. You can take the best of what other nations have to build up your cultural existence as a tool, not to wipe away your culture, no. And now you're being tested, Africa, Black Africa in particular. And you remember, so let me back up a little bit. Remember they had the Arab Spring? Remember that all of a sudden all these things were happening in North Africa? These are, the North Africans should really start examining who they really are. They think they're Arabs. Who are they really? We're learning that some of these original peoples up there in North Africa were not who you think they look like. This one YouTuber was he was in I call it the land of Canaan from the Bible. These are black people, and he talking to someone who calls himself an Ishmaelite, not Israelite, but Ishmaelite, the children of Ishmael, a black man. He said his family was there for thousands of years, but now it's occupied by this other European forces. But he was original. But actually the Ishmaelite, they all came from Iraq. And you had the Canaanites there. And they showed the modern day Canaanite in that land of Canaan. That modern day land. Black people. And they want you to, they rob the identity. I'm saying this. They rob the identity of the North African. What happened in North Africa is what happening in what we call Latin America. I'm going to repeat it again. What happened in North Africa is what happened in what we call now Latin America. People's identities were being taken away into their oppressor. They think themselves, like in North Africa, they think themselves as Arab or Berber. But you look at the phenotypes of those people. These are mixed bloods of African and these Semitic races. And then they imposed a religion on them. And they all got to cover up. They got to cover up because they don't want you to know your. See, this is for a reason. What's coming to my mind. And again, your religion is your business. If it serves you, you serve it. But what's coming to my mind now? I've been to Egypt before, and I'm seeing videos on the people of North Africa. Their body types, especially the women, those women are real shapely. Who's shapely like that but the African? They're real wide hips. They're really shapely, these women. They do not have a European body type. These are African body types, the women especially. And just look at the face. Their faces like relatives that I've seen. People just change an accent. Oh, that's a different race. Really look very closely. The texture of the skin is African. The face, these are the lips. Yes, some of them have prominent noses, yes. But really look at them. Look at the Egyptian. I've been in Egypt. Those are not white people at all. These are all blends of African slash black people. And they were severely colonized to make them think themselves as Arabs. And then some of them, they want to hold on to their Berber. But who's the Berber? Who are they? See, it's one group getting, you know, absorbing, imposing on another group. That's what I think would happen. Yeah, they have, just like at one point you have what they call the Moors. Where are the Moors? Who are the Moors? They were in Europe for 800 years, where the U.S. has only been around for 200 years. So 800 years of a government, of a people, and even William Shakespeare talks about the Moor. The Blackamoor, I think he called it. Yeah, there was stigma about those people in British literature through William Shakespeare. Go read the story. Othello, what's it called? Othello? Yeah, Othello. Read it. There are blacks up in there in Europe. Could this be the reason why now they're rebelling against the African? The Moors were a black force. They were Muslim in their religion. So they're probably black with Arab, right? Because they speak Arabic, and they're into Islam, right? Islam was started, I was at 600 something, AD, and it spread from Saudi into a large part of the world, Asia and Africa, and then it went into Europe through the southern part, and then the Moors were expelled. See, we really aren't taught the history of Africa, because see, they don't want you to know something happened, and they're holding it out against all of sub-Saharan Africa. But I don't think sub-Saharan Africa had anything to do with it. I think what was happening, you had a force that entered into the north to blend, and then but who knows? But again, like someone said, that part of the world of Canaan, they're all people of color. But you see the leaders, and they get certain leaders who look a certain way. But even Anwar Sadat, the former president of Egypt, he got assassinated. That was not a white man. That was an authentic Egyptian, Anwar Sadat. I remember that he got assassinated on television. I remember seeing it. Yeah, see, when you look at who the people, the original people were of a particular land, I mean, a lot was happening on that continent, Africa. There were even kidnapping Europeans and bringing them into North Africa and Persia. That's why you notice you go look in Persia and the area around there, you see a lot of people with these green and gray eyes because of their European blend. Yeah, people were just being stolen and enslaved and held for ransom. They didn't teach that in school. I heard about it. On YouTube. There was the story of slavery, slavery of Europeans. It existed. The word slave comes from the word Slavic. The Slavic people of Europe were slaves. And just when the Slavic slave trade ceased was when the African slave trade began. It's all by design. This is all new stuff. And it just went haywire. It went crazy. The European went crazy. That now it got momentum. It had invented the firearm, and that's what they used to kidnap people, to enforce it. Yeah, a lot of the history is something, people. And they want you to, the African, they want you fighting each other. They don't want you to know your history. And you also have to be careful, the African diaspora. The African diaspora has to be careful too. Because now it's like, it's all over the internet. I mean, I guess if you're looking for it, you'll find it. People, blacks from all over primarily North America, and a lot of Jamaicans. Interesting, of the Caribbean islands, Jamaica. I don't hear about Martinicans, Cubans, Dominicans, or even Haitians want to move back to Africa. I don't hear it. Or even Brazil, modern day Brazil. Now, Brazil, at the end of slavery, you did have many of them moving back to Nigeria. Oh, it was a wonderful program. I saw that. Yeah, they moved over 100 years ago. Yeah, slavery ended in Brazil around 1888, around that time. Yeah, Latin America was still under slavery. Anglo, English speaking America, they ended slavery in the excluding the U.S., 1840, no, 1830 something, and then the French was 1840 something, and then the U.S. 1865, and then Brazil, I think 1888 or later. The Spanish colonies later. But some of them, of Brazil, they left and they formed a society back in Nigeria. And so, you have black people here in the United States that want to lie to you that we don't come from Africa. And this is a slap in the black diaspora. It's a slap in our face because here these people went through a trauma of slavery, and in Brazil for longer than America. They started slavery before us and they ended slavery before us. When I say us, I mean the U.S. And they were trafficked, human trafficked here to the Americas. They knew where they came from. They knew what tribes and all that. So when it ended, because some of them, I guess, arrived like 1 or 2 years before slavery ended there, they came as adults, so they went back. And you want to deny us, those people, their heritage. And you want to have a fake history about being a Native American. Say that African Americans are not really African. Our genetics is African. If you have an Indian genetics, fine, there's nothing wrong being Indian. But to deny a whole nation that, and deceiving, you're giving disinformation. And yes, the term Indian, I think, I mean, they even have that in the West Indies where my ancestry came from. My grandparents came from there. I think, pretty much you're in the Americas and you hear, certain terminology is taught. You have the white person, you have the African slash black person, and then you have that in between, the Indian. And so if you look like an in between, they just call you Indian. And I think that's all that it was. You look like a brown person with straight hair. And I think that's all. But again, the term Indian, who's an Indian but people from India? What do the people of India look like? Brown people with straight hair, right? So maybe it's just a term, that just call Indian because you really don't know what they are. They're brown and have straight hair, some of them. And I think that's all it was. Indians could be, people from India could come light and very dark. They have the full spectrum on that continent, that subcontinent. And they want to fool you, give identity, a false identity. Embrace who you are. It's okay if you're Indian. Learn about your Indian heritage. You have Indian blood in. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to deny you. But a lot of us, even me, was told that I have, that this particular person was an Indian. And there's always women that your grandma's an Indian. All these women that are Indian, but you notice you never hear of your grandpa Indian. You notice that? See, back in those days, men and women, black men and women weren't, didn't really live together as families. People were using, I guess through the latter age of slavery, that women weren't allowed to tell who the father was. It was against the law for a slave woman to tell who the biological father was. They didn't want you to know. They didn't want your identity. They didn't want you to have your identity. But you have an identity. And a lot of these unions were with these white people. So what do you tell people? You tell them you're Indian. Hello? Hello, people. That's all. It was for your survival. Some women, some of it was consensual. Not everything was rape. Some things were consensual. Hey, I let this guy. He runs the show. Hey, I get food. I get a place to live. Women are no different than what they're doing now. Poor women. Women all over the world. Europe, Asia, Africa, Pacific Island. Women are women. Period. And when the cards are stacked against you, you do what it took to survive. Look at World War II. You had French women dating Nazis, Nazi soldiers. You had it. And after the war, these women were targeted and they were shamed publicly by shaving off their hair. I don't think they should have done that. Now, if those women mistreated you, but when you're in fear of your life, it's about survival. I don't think, I mean, no one wants to see that. No one does. When someone has a gun to your head, you're going to do a lot of things. Look at people who go into gangs. They have to make a choice. Either join our gang or we kill you on the spot. I have compassion for people like that. I feel for them. If they act like a jerk, then, you need justice there. You need to put justice onto that person. That person living in fear and they live a quiet life. We all know what happens. And then you just kind of bow out of society, keep a very low profile. It's hard. So here you have African nations now have to decide for themselves. Are they going to stand their ground and say no to their oppressors? It's a time to, we all have to make a choice. People, are you going to stand up to your enemy? And I speak to myself too. Am I going to stand my ground? And say, I don't, whatever what the consequences are, I stand my ground. Hey, I'm tired of this. I want freedom. The power of Africa is in your hands. See, you're not as much, yes, some of you are living a nice, comfortable lives. You have the technologies, the smartphones and the, computers and all these stuff and beautiful homes. And they have you trapped in that lifestyle. It feels good, yes it does. But that's how they entrap you, by having you comfortable to these luxuries. But the majority, I saw a video of, this was in Gabon, the country of Gabon in West Africa. It's a very tropical place in West Africa. They speak French there primarily. And this guy was coming through a spiritual awakening. He was dressed in Western clothes, and I think he had a little job in town, office, modern type of business. And he said he was he felt disconnected from who he was. That his traditional self, his true African self, was competing with this nouveau world system. And so he went through this spiritual awakening. He had a ceremony, iboga. Iboga is a plant, and it transforms. It's not addictive. It does have its dangers to use. It lowers, I think, it lowers your blood pressure and things like that. You know, but see, see, there's the natural use of it, how they use it in the bush. You actually have the root, it's like a part of a bark, or wood of a tree, and it's ground up, and you have to eat it, and it's nasty tasting. But see, you're getting the full alloy of the plant, the full spectrum of the plant. But then they have these ibogaine. It's a component from the iboga plant, and they use it in these rehab centers in Mexico. Okay, but there they're using an extraction of it, but not the full embodiment of the iboga plant. And it's not done in a ritual, things like that. Yeah, everything. So it has its dangers if you use it how they use it in those medical places in Mexico. But this man, this guy from Gabon that used it, And for him, he went through a spiritual transformation to get in tune with his African self. A lot of Africans don't know who they are, and they want to be this nouveau African. See, I don't mind, a nouveau African with the African making this nouveau change and not a European changing it for him. You know what I'm saying? See, Africa's being seduced by these new technologies. And they get, you can't, when you get away from nature, you're getting away from yourself. Because nature sustains you. Yeah, I'm sorry, the power I have went. Yeah, okay. The more disconnected you are with nature, the more hectic it is in your life. The more trouble I think you'll be. And the more plastic you'll be, the more bigoted and racist you'll be. Your health will start to decline. Yeah, I truly believe this. That's why I try to go out daily. I don't know whether I'll go out today. I did my walk yesterday. My muscles are a little sore. And I did laundry, and I have to look at this. What is that? That's my laundry. I have to put it up. Yeah, I have to put my clothes away. I want to clean my room. I want to clean it. Want to, yeah, I want to. I have to really do a thorough cleaning in that room. So I left my clothes out. I want to dust everything, wipe down everything. Try to get reconnected. Yeah, my places get looking a little clutter because my mind is clutter, and have to declutterize it. Declutterize your mind today if you can. Declutterize. Yeah. Stay connected. Yet the African is being challenged. And it can work both ways. You can have the African helping the other African, or the African diaspora helping one another to get reconnected to nature, to who you really are. Versus the other component, the industrialized, the plastic self, the plastic African, the plastic America. And you're going to have to make a choice. I have to make a choice. Which life am I going to live? And that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. Where do I stay? I love the modern, I like the modern necessities, but I want to get to be, to have me. I don't want to compromise the me, the true me. So I have to make a choice. Yeah, I want the me. I want to make a good life for myself and for my little dogs, Lily, Lilac, and Lavender. Yeah, this is Lily here. That's Lavender over there. And little Peanut there. Yeah, I have them in mind too. I mean, they're my little children. They're my little babies. And I'm responsible for them. And so what I do, I don't want them compromised either. See, it's easier if it's just me. But I invited them in my life. So I'm responsible for them. So I have to be very careful how I'm going to play this. Yeah. Yeah, things are happening now. All these, you notice all these things happening? See, they're publicizing this. I mean, why are they publicizing certain events and not others? They said there are many, many shootings going on in America. Many. Now you had someone, what was that? Someone in a hospital went to a hospital, and the day of the shooting was the day he purchased his guns. Weird things. People are being activated. There's a video here. Yeah, let me, where my phone is running out of energy. Let me plug it in. Okay. Whew. Yeah, just remember I had the plug. Yeah, it was like 5% energy. Okay. Yeah, let me just move this. Oops. Yeah, my computer. Come on, what's happening there? Okay. Yeah, there was some things on the screen I was looking into. I'm sorry. Yeah, you have to make a choice, people. Yeah, I was just looking at something. Yeah, even someone did a video. Let me see if I could. Boy, I'm trying to wrote. Someone wrote here. Oops. Yeah. Someone. Yeah, I'm looking on my computer. Boy, let me get. I have to get closer. Yeah, I want to look at this. See, other people are asking questions. Look at that one. Could the recent mass, you know what, be a result of remote mind? You know, and who wrote this? Interesting. Billy Carson. Okay, that's almost a 1 hour video, and it was streamed it says 5 hours ago, but let me refresh it. I don't think it's 5 hours, but yeah, if I refresh it, it'd probably be more, but it was uploaded. See, people are asking questions, and I'm surprised he would write about this. See, he sent something too. This guy, Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. Yeah, he's into Egyptian stuff. See, I'm not into the Egyptian stuff. I think, okay, I mean, it's, how does it help you now to know about Egypt? You can say, well, the ancient Egyptians were black. Yes, they were. And the people there now are black. The people now in Egypt are black, of black heritage, but they're mixed. Okay, Egypt is in North Africa, Northeast Africa. And so they have a blend of Asia, we call West Asia, European, and African. And over the thousands of years, so they're not going to look exactly alike. You know, I went to Egypt and I was mistaken for Egyptian here in New York City. I had a scarf on, a black scarf on, and a man approaches me, you know, and he's saying something weird. He said, Egypt, Egypt, Egypt. I said, I'm sorry, what are you saying? He says, you're from Egypt. I said, no, I'm not from Egypt. And he said, I thought you're from Egypt. He's from a North African country, the guy. He says, oh, I love our women wearing their hairscarves. I think they look so beautiful. I said, thank you. Yeah, Egyptians could look like me. Egyptians are not white people. They're a blend, just like I am a blend. And I did do my DNA, and it showed, um, yeah, a lot of North Africa. 14% North African, and 40% Iberia. Iberia Peninsula. That's where Spain and Portugal. Because you know, North Africa invaded Spain for 800 years. And I have that mix. Surprisingly, I have as much as I do. You know, well, I know, as I mentioned before, my great grandfather was from Portugal, but but to see that whole spectrum there, you know, that I guess I was surprised at that the overlapping North Africa and Southern Europe. But yeah, when you look on the um, yeah, that one, see that's him. See that? See that's Billy Carson. When I show you again. See that? Could could this be the recent? Could this recent mass shooting be a result of remote mind? You know, what is he showing? Yes, a lot of things here. I've been watching this person too. She goes, Brittany in Africa. And she's a black American girl, and she interviews people relocating to Africa. And I like watching him also. He is a Christian guy, but he is into numerology, numbers and symbols and things like that. Yeah, a lot of things here. Yeah. How African Americans can build in Africa while living in America. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of things I'm watching. You know, his work is good too. Woodward. And he talks about, he's talking about modern events too now. Okay. Oh, this guy is that. Yeah, he talks about this one. I'm new with him. He goes search for Uhuru. Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. And he goes to Africa. He has a travel business, and he goes to Africa. Yeah, a lot of things here. It's all the same thing about everything about Africa. This is a new lady. I just watched a handful, maybe three of her videos. I'm not sure what part of Africa she's from. I assume she's from Africa too. Her work is focusing on Africa. And he said, wow, forced to take off his clothes. African reports horrifying treatment they have received in, okay, they have received in Germany. Wow, that was 1 day ago. They also talk about Jews and ancient Israelites. You know, it's like, you know, got even something on Brazil. Yeah, Brazil, most blacks were sent to Brazil. Oh, look at this. It's a black girl. Trinity Thomas. This is the first time I've heard of her. Trinity Thomas, perfect 10 on floor at 2022 NCAA gymnastics. That was 1 month ago. Never heard of her. When I used to be into, I was a gymnastics fan. I was a devout gymnastics fan. And blacks, I mean, we had one black girl on the team. But it really wasn't. I mean, we had some black guys in the sport, but it wasn't for women. Not that many. Wasn't that many black women in the sport? I mean, when you look on profession, you know, the people who are, you know, competing, you didn't see any black people on the gymnastic. What do you call it? The Olympic team. None. But now, dark-skinned black women are now starting to dominate the field of gymnastics. Oh, I love gymnastics, man. I was a gymnastics big time. I wanted to be just like the gymnasts. Yeah, this way back, 40 plus years ago, about 45 years ago. Yeah. See, things are changing now. Things are changing now. Look at this guy. I've been watching him also. Yeah, his work is interesting. So why now is the time to travel to Africa? Okay, he does things like that. He travels all over. He's a married guy, and he travels with this, you know, all throughout Africa. And this guy also, I get confused. This guy here, his Jake Cameron, and then this one here. He is Go Black to Africa. I forget his real name, but the work is pretty similar. And he goes to the guy to the far left. That's him. That's his channel. And I watch them a lot. And he's also his thing. Go Black to Africa. He's an American, and he used to be a Christian and all that. And he came to an awakening. And there was someone else that came to an awakening. Oh, who was that now? It was a woman. Oh, who is that woman now? Okay, I remember. It was a program just so by chance. Um, the interviewer, I think, yeah, the interviewer was actually a Christian, and she was interviewing this other woman, and she explained why she left Christianity. And it was a remarkable interview, and it's basically what I went through. Yeah, I wasn't raised in the church, but I entered it thinking this was gonna help me, and I think on some level uh, it kept me in a box. And I started awake. My awakening, like hers, was almost identical. It's like you see it's not fitting. Yeah, a stress happens, something, and you say then you start to be able to see for what it is. It's in conflict. You're a black woman in America, and all these events, racist events were happening, and I had a white pastor at the time, and it didn't fit anymore. I didn't fit in this structure. It was limiting. And I wanted to find out more about my natural self, my African self. I wanted to know who I was. Who am I? I'm just being complacent and not thinking, and I wanted to expand. Oh, this lady's interesting. Her work, boy, Lisa Cabrera. Yeah, it seemed like now all of a sudden my YouTube is really focused on certain people. It's very black centered now. Okay, she just uploaded this. Yeah, Lisa Cabrera, American woman. Get the Hispanic sounding last name, but she's a black woman, and she exposes a lot of things that's happening in the black community. Yeah, she is angry. I don't know what that is. Unbaptism. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. I gotta watch that. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I'm showing you the screen because it's the type of things that I'm watching or that's being shown to me is very focused. Russia, Africa, Africa in Russia. And he, again, search for Uhuru. It says African Union meets with Russia and how much money should, interesting. Yeah, I watched an interview earlier. Oops. Yeah, I watched something earlier. And they posed a question. I wonder if I can find it here. Let me see. It was something about Russia. I hope I can find it. Oh, that's the top. Okay, so maybe it's not having it. I don't see it here. Okay. I'm trying to find it. But yeah, they had something with Senegal. And it said something to the effect by African leaders meeting up with Russian leaders. Could this affect the safety of Africa? Where is that? Where is this? Yeah, I'm getting a lot of the things. Oh, I saw this. I saw that video before. That was spooky. I saw something like this, a video like this before. On the yeah, it was thousands of them. No, I shouldn't say thousands. It was a couple of hundred, and they were feeding them. That's too. Oh, look at that. Putin told African Union leaders Russia is supporting African. Let me see. Yeah. Putin told African Union leaders Russia is supporting African against colonialism. Oh, what's that word? Shortage of food. Oh, wow. I gotta watch that. Yeah, I wanna watch that. Yeah, people watch this. I'm gonna click on that because I know I heard that wasn't the video, but I want to watch that. Yeah, it is true that what you read, what you see does influence your actions. It does. I have to be balanced about it. Yeah, now Rwanda. Rwanda is getting all these refugees now. Started a week ago. It went through its Holocaust 28 years ago, and now they're sending in refugees there. Why would you do that? England is telling Rwanda, England, or I should say Britain, is telling Rwanda that you have to take their, Britain's, what do you call it? What do you call it when people, refugees? How could a nation tell another nation to take its refugees that are from Africa? That's a small ass country. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, things on prophecy about the Antichrist. That's another thing that's being talked about too. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Okay. That's about it there. So yeah, I showed you a bit of that because a lot of the things that I'm being referred to is very not black centered. But I have to remember balance. See, if you always see just trauma, drama, drama, you know, I have to be able to make clear-minded decisions. Some of the things that is being posted out there is to trigger you, is to get you mad and angry. And some people are more sensitive than others, and they are being triggered. And people are, like that one YouTube, the thumbnail shows a guy, the head painted like a button that is being pressed, being triggered. This is not by accident, in my opinion. In my opinion, these things, these mass shootings, and again, it's always mass shootings in America, but see, they want you to know about certain ones because they want to make it. See, if you never hear about it, the U.S. is very big, and you only hear about it if they tell you. If they don't tell you, then you don't know, unless you live physically there in that area, right? And even if you live in a place, it might be indoors at the time when something happens, and then they clean up the mess later. See, they want you to know certain things because they want you to have a mindset about something. And a lot of these things, these events, could have been prevented. It could have been prevented, but they didn't prevent it. They're not doing their homework. I went to, I told you many times about the physical attack that happened to me last November in 2021. Well, I called up, I saw the person hanging out in my area. And she was even asking me, saying hi, and asking me for money. And that was the person, it looks like the same person that attacked me, physically attacked me. And I called the cops and told them what happened. I mean, that this person is back on in my neighborhood, and they didn't want to come. One detective told me, oh, you could go to any police station or even just call them and have them send a cop over, and they'll take your statement. And when I did try to do that, when I attempted to do that and called them, um, they said, well, the runaround, the same runaround. See, that's why a lot of people just give up on the cops. I mean, I used to hold up the cops, so to speak. I mean, I used to watch these cop shows when I was a kid, but I also, had the reality that what they can do, because something happened to a family member of mine, and I always remembered that. And other person thinks that happened to me, what could have happened to me. So I'm sensitive. But at the same time, we need law and order, but we don't need corruption. We do not need corruption. We need police, but we need balanced police. Balance, not balanced here. And they're not doing their job. They're not doing their job. And so it's like, wow, is it worth the fight? Is it worth it? See, the cop that I spoke to on the phone, he was of sound mind. He said, look, you want it documented. In case anything happens to you, this person might be harassing you, and get it down in writing. I don't know whether it's worth it. It sounds good, but when I just they don't want to do it. They don't. I don't want to get traumatized again. I don't want the harassment. I can't deal with it. And I think that's why, because I was to get the copy of the report, and I said, I don't want to go down there. I was afraid to go down there because I would have to take the train and feel, threatened that something could happen to me on the train. And I just didn't want to go through that. I didn't want to go through that. Um, I don't know. I'm afraid to also read what the report says. Because, see, police can lie. Police could lie. But the only proof I do have that when I had to go to the ambulance and they wrote what, that I was assaulted. So it's documented I had to go to the hospital uh, due to a physical assault upon me. And I'm hoping that would be enough. I don't trust the cops to read the report. It's that bad. I don't know. I'd rather just leave. I'd rather just leave. Yeah. So interesting, the dream that I had today, that I was leaving from one domain to another. And I had these keys that I had to return. I felt it was important enough to drop off the keys. And I'm glad I did that in the dream. Uh, so I think, it's trying to tell me, hey, take care of your old matters. Take it before you leave. Take care of your old matters. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'd rather do. I'd rather do that. Have everything in order. Uh, get the monies that are due me. Yep. So I said a lot this morning. Wow, so it's 7:29 right now. 7:29 in the morning. This lovely Saturday morning. Wow, it looks like it's going to be a great day. It's 63 degrees. Perfect day for walking. Yeah, I want to clean my place. At least my bedroom. Get that all wiped down. Everything. Yeah, I want to try to, get things out the way. Yeah, I want to. Oh, yeah, I want to. You ever hear of detoxing? I want to declutter. I want to declutter my life, so I can get centered and really make the necessary plans that I have to do. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. The tarot cards read, hey, if you stick it out, you will come to full fruition. Well, the other things are feasible as well. But you stay put and you'll be blessed just the same. Yeah. I have a lot to lose if I leave here. I love New York City. I love it. I mean, my life, it's I mean, it has everything on my fingertips. But these things that are coming on, these craziness, see, they want you to panic. And the other concern that I have about leaving is what I heard this, and I made mention to this, the super soldiers. You remember about a month ago, I showed you this video, and it had these two men who are called super soldiers. I know that sounds, over the top, but these are enhanced, biologically enhanced humans, and they've gone through some trauma to get these changes done in them. And they had access to, basically they're made as mercenaries. These are mercenaries. And they have information. And he was sharing, he did an interview with Carrie Cassidy in 2013. And he shared information about the Back to Africa movement that's going to take place in America. Well, that's what's happening now, 2022. That they're going to be creating race wars to push the black race, to push them to move back to Africa. And then they're going to try to do biological weapons. They're going to put something in the well water to destroy them. And those that aren't destroyed, to sell, get this, to sell to extraterrestrials. Did you hear right? Yes, you did. To take some of the black people and to sell them to extraterrestrial beings out there. And like Kretamutwa, the Zulu shaman, he passed away recently. He was 100 or approaching 100. And he talked about these beings, the Kitahuri. The Kitahuri. And it adds up. This is some type of reptilian race. And then I told you a vision that I had when I was meditating. I saw the reptile. I saw it. It was wearing a red robe with a hood. And he was with 4 other humans. It had a face like a what do you call it? Like a crocodile. I said, oh my goodness, it was real. People, this is real. What these people are talking about, with my David Icke talks about, it sounds crazy, but it's real. Kretamutwa talked about it, and they had an interview. Kretamutwa and David Icke had an interview. David interviewed Credo. It was a 4 or 6 hour interview, and it's on YouTube. And he talked about it. Oh yes, he did. Yes, he did. And these things control. And they have their meetings. And they could be orchestrating all these things that we see in the media to get blacks to want to leave. So that's why I'm cautious, because it could be a trick. It could be beneficial too. I mean, anybody can move anywhere that, some are moving to Latin America, some are moving to the Caribbean, some might be moving to Europe, some even Asia, and now but Africa. Yep. So I don't know. Yeah, I need to play it safe. And we'll see. We'll see. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, things happen for a reason, and the dreams that you have may be actual messages, confirmations and things like that for your protection. Yeah, I need to take care of business before I go on to the next chapter. And that's what those keys, I think, meant. And the magazine that I had, it was a yellow cover magazine, pretty designs, all different types of yellow. And that represents peace and hope and happiness and a future. Yeah, I think that's what it means. But I got to take care of business here. So, with that last note, I hope you enjoyed this live Sunday morning stream. I enjoy doing this. And those of you who like this content and want to support me in this endeavor, you can PayPal me by going to my channel, Spirit Journey. And on the banner, the right side of the banner of my YouTube channel, is my PayPal me link. Just click on the link and follow the prompt. Any amount would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I appreciate you. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for following, watching this channel and my videos. I wish you well and safety. Thank you again. Until next time, okay? Take care and enjoy.